Did that show last year? He was fucking still like.
He was buff.
He's still messenger.
Well,
he's a messenger. He's a messenger.
He had his bike with him. There was a time in the Murder Junkies where he wasn't in shape. I guess
really?
when he became,
I never saw that.
I've seen pictures of him with his stomach out to here and all this kind of shit. But
it was like a year or two maybe, but he bounced back quickly.
When you're a bike messenger in New York City, you've got to bounce back. And he had his bike. He had his bike with him, and he was like, he looked buff as a motherfucker with his big orange and yellow and blue, well, orange, yellow, and red actually.
I call it mustard ketchup hair.
Whatever it was.
And he still had the goatee.
And I'm on the train with these hardcore fucking Harlem dudes. You know, homeboys are just like,
fuck that, man.
Whoa. Let's just go over here. You know, nobody's fucking with that motherfucker.
That's pretty. I mean, come on. I mean, you normally the hardcore guys would be like this fucking punk rock bitch.
Yeah, no, he looks crazy. That guy. He looks crazier than Gigi looked back in the day.
I know, but he's actually a really nice person.
I've never met him.
Dino is a very nice, intelligent person. And so is Merle. So is Merle.
I've met Merle.
Merle, yeah, I mean, they were. We were talking, and they were very, and the thing was, when we were doing our set, they were there.
Yeah.
Because they were there early. They set up, and they were checking them out, and they were like, wow, you can sing. Your band's great. I'm like, that's good. Like, you could be punk, you could be fucking hardcore. But when you're a musician, you're a good musician.
Yeah, musicians see other good musicians.
Yeah,
doesn't matter what you're from.
Which makes you realize, like, music through time has been about. I mean, no matter. When I was in the '80s, when I got signed to Atlantic, I met these. I was doing house music, and the thing was, I met these rappers. And house music in D.C. I was living there for a year, and I'm doing it. And these rappers came in, and my producer was like, "Do you mind? I like people. I need to feed off. I hate studio. I need to feed off people, live people." And I was like, "I don't mind, no, because I had nothing to hide. I'm a fucking rock singer. I'm singing fucking house music, la la la, fucking yeah." And they were all like, they actually go. These rap guys were like, they were so impressed with my voice. They were like, "Are you into that girl from Heart?" Half of them were the girl from Heart.
That girl.
The other half actually knew Ann Wilson of Heart. Right. Meanwhile, white producers said, "Oh, you like Madonna. Oh, you're into Madonna." And I was like, I was such an Ann Wilson freak. No one could tell that I was an Ann Wilson person, except black rappers and house music people, guys. And now I'm like, wow, black rap artists are actually more, because they love rock and roll, but they can't put that out there because of their peers.
There's no one less in tune with anything music related than white record company executives.
And nowadays, it's like, it's just fucking bullshit, so.
It's a changing world, though, in the record industry.
Yeah, but we gotta change it. We're adults. We need to take it back.
There's gotta be something. I'm trying my best with my little band here in New York, and I'm doing stuff that I never thought I could without Bile. Like as I grow with Vulgaris, I realize that there's shit that I can do that I couldn't do with Bile. That I could never even think that I could do myself, like book shows and all that kind of shit.
Right.
I grew up, basically, after I left that band.
But being that we both are not married and don't have kids, because a lot of people who have, who are artists who are our age, who, like, 3 years ago, when the internet radio was Scrub Radio, and I was like, remember back in the 80s, I'm typing, remember back in the 80s when you had the tape trading? Remember that? The old tape trading? But you had to go to a show and trade your tape, physically be there. And then in the 90s you had Sub Pop, they were like, banded together. I'm like, do you guys realize now there's like internet radio now? We're having metal shows and MP3, all you have to do is just click. You can go around the world. We don't have to be at a show. Let's take the power back. Let's do it. Let's make, we have the power like the 80s. the 90s Sub Pop. Now we have, this is the new generation. And everyone's like, yeah, you're right, Pam. But anyway, la 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 la. And a lot of them now, because I realized I was ready to give up in like 2002 to 2003 when I discovered MySpace and then, you know, Scrub Radio and all these things. And I'm like, but then I realized I heard these bands from the age 34 to 50. And I was like, I was getting ready to give up. No one's given up. But they all have families. They're still making the music. And they're making great music. But, oh, I have a daughter or a son. And it's like, they're getting lazier. Like, I don't have that fucking family. You don't have the family.
I don't have it either.
But we still have that drive. They have the drive, obviously, because they're still making the music. But they need us. But you know what? It's like we have to do something. We have to do something, Dave. We really do.
I know.
I'm tired of like making my speech. I really am, because maybe we should just do that and just.
Something needs to change.
So let's do some shows and maybe get some other people on it. And do,
I have so many bands that I know in New York that would fucking.
We have to do.
I can snap my fingers and get 3 other bands to be on it, but
do the bill. Do the bill. Maybe do something like a 1 day Woodstock, like the band shell. We gotta do something.
It's something that I know. Me and Velocity have always talked about this. Like, we look for so many shows to play, but if we booked something ourselves, and the last Vulgara show that we played, I guess back in what is this, May? I don't know, April. We did a show in Don Hills, which was called the Body Bag Show, and that show was the idea of me and this guy Priest from the Saints of Pain. The Saints of Pain being an amazing band from Staten Island. We're talking on the phone one night, and we're like, let's hook up a show for Friday the 13th. Well, we can't get Friday the 13th, so let's get Thursday the 12th.
Yeah, right.
And it was our fucking brainchild that made this show at Don Hills. We piggybacked on another party. We asked the guy if he would have live bands, and they were like, yeah, that sounds cool. And you know what? There was a few hundred people there, and maybe like 175 to 200 people, which is good for Don Hills.
Right, yeah.
It was because me and Priest wanted to play a show together.
Right.
And it was a great show. It was the Body Bag Show. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of shit that we need to do all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just have an idea, pick a place, and fucking do it. And that's what I want to do. And I couldn't do that, years ago. But now we can do it now. In my more mature days, I'm like, well, it was kind of my idea to do the Down. I'm like, what about Down Hills? And Priest is like, well, I know a guy doing a party on the 12th. I'm like, why don't you call him? Yeah. And it was just us two fucking around one night, and we had an amazing fucking show.
And that's what we got to do.
That's how it works, I guess.
Well, see, now we put our heads together. We got more people and more.
Absolutely.
Because I know Don Hill. We can do it.
Yeah. Listen, if I told Don Hill that I wanted to do a Vulgara show with you,
he would totally. Yeah, he would totally.
When we played another show after that for the Panty Party, the Rated X Panty Party, and Don Hill himself was like, well, we actually got a good band now to play at the Panty Party.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, thank you. But,
he's always calling me, yeah.
He's a great guy.
Like, it was like, just do it in your kitchen. And I was like, do it in your kitchen. Do a show in your kitchen. Okay.
If we could set up drums in here, maybe we could. But, all right, I'm going to go pee again. A lot of beer.
You go first.
All right.
You go first.
Okay,
no.
I'll be right back.
So what do you guys think? If Pep does a festival, beer sounds good to me. I know, right? Woo-hoo! We got some more food and more... Oh shit, it's like going on 1 o'clock. Dave does rock, right?